Hello, my name is Jim French of the Live, Learn, Innovate Foundation. And today I'd like to walk you through our user interface designed and built by our talented engineers. We are hosted on Amazon Web Services, and the link is for my LLIF, Live, Learn, Innovate Foundation.org. That is the production website. We're accepting beta users to upload their data and get the visualizations I'm about to show you. Also for feedback. I will show you our development instance. You'll see that at dev.llif.org, but traditionally or typically members would go to my LLIF. So first of all, we have email and password here. We'll be removing that. We are currently supporting sign in with Google only. And we will be updating this page so you can see how many members we actually have on an ongoing basis, and just choose your Google authentication and you're dropped into the Live tab. So we modeled the software currently after the name of our nonprofit, which is Live, Learn, Innovate Foundation, although here it's Find. The concept behind this is, and we'll walk through it a little more later, is that you'll almost do no extra effort and collect your data by living. You then learn from your data, and if you choose to make changes to your behavior based on that data, that's innovating. And additionally, you'll be able to go and search and find all your data through this tab and engage with businesses and other members through this last tab. So that is the name of our nonprofit. Now, when you walk through the interface, you'll see I can show Live, Learn, Innovate, same across the top, Find, Engage, and then the settings, which we'll talk through last. We have about 25 to 30 graphs that we've pulled in basically from historical data. So our first phase was to show you the data that you've collected in other clouds, pull it into one place, show it to you over these long periods, things you may not have even seen before. And then start merging those different cloud data into single graphs and single correlations. So as you can see here, we have heart rate, sleep, things you'd get off a normal fitness tracker, resting heart rate, tags. This is something we're innovating around as far as making it easier to collect symptoms or feelings. So we have an Alexa skill that is in process where you'll be able to say, Alexa, ask life to log blank, where blank is like diarrhea, headache. There she happens all the time. And from your fitness tracker cloud, you're getting steps and step histograms. You're getting information from your movement states, how much time you spend in a land vehicle, on foot, your time you spend in those states, the time you spend in places, your shopping habits. Again, these are data sets that are not currently mixed. You can call this a mashup. Basically, we're taking all the data from the disparate clouds, bringing it to one place, and then feeding it to you through our web interface or shortly mobile app. Mix here of YouTube video statistics and Netflix video, and we'll go back through this and I'll just iterate on a few of the graphs. And so your insights, which will be merged. So if you want to see total video across YouTube and Netflix and other sources, you'll be able to see that because we'll be pulling all the data back from those clouds. And then, body and other tracking in menstrual cycles. And if you exercise and we get those files, we'll show you a history of your exercise events. This just shows you the latest exercise event on the Live tab. I can do the same thing here. We will, over time, categorize these graphs into these categories. So you'll see, movement information, interacting messages. We're working on those graphs right now. They'll be dropped in those visualizations. Adding more shopping over time, showing you your video watching habits, exercise, and then we're also collecting the environment where you are at any given time. So as you travel around, you will have a record of your air, weather, and pollen. So when you do log a symptom, it's way more relevant when you have that record with you. And then monitoring, these are things where you're not really taking action, but we're tracking. So you'll be able to go back and look at your heart rate, your blood pressure, and one of the guys on the team has a brainwave sensor, although we're not sure how to interpret it. So as you walk through any of these graphs, like heart rate, I can click on a calendar and pull up traditionally will be showing a short period of time, but you can look at a history. So I just went back and chose last year, and it's on a week basis here. So if I want to see the trends a little more evenly, I can say, show me months. I can also, because this data went back many years, I can go in and say, maybe 2018 start and a 2021 finish, right? In which case it'll pause here for a second, and we'll get a lot of data across that time period, and nothing to see here, right? But at least knowing there's nothing to see here is helpful. And then so sleep, typically we look at our last night's sleep or a week's sleep, and we can't aggregate it in different periods. So here I can go in and I can say, well, show me my sleep per week over the course of a year. I can change it to a month and see how my sleep has been per month. And you can see that I had a lame month of sleep in November. I'd be able to correlate that back maybe to some symptoms. Maybe it was travel, who knows, as we start mixing the data together. I can also look at longer term histories of sleep. Like I just showed before, this is 2018 to 2019. And so I could do a 3-year horizon and see, and this is actually weeks right now, but see any kind of trends. But I can aggregate and say, on a monthly basis, is there a trend? And it does seem like I get less sleep the nicer the weather. Is a pattern I've seen, which makes sense because I'm spending more time outside. But there could be other correlations that we'd see when we superimpose multiple data sets. So at-rest heart rate or resting heart rate is something that was very important to me as my mother came down with colon cancer, and it is highly correlated to a lot of diseases or illnesses. So I can go back, and this is mine, but here I got 1 week with a 1-year aggregation. It looks like there's a trend here. I can change it to a month, and I could see a more definitive trend going up into winter and then coming out of winter. And it's like, does my at-rest heart rate go up every winter? So we go back over here, and I can say, let me look at a 3-year horizon, and go back to months. And let's see, we got December, and November. So yeah, I would actually say that there's a period here where my heart rate, as the months or days get colder, my at-rest heart rate is going up. I don't know if there's a larger trend across like cities, but with LLIF, we would actually see that kind of trend across people anonymously in regions, or even by where they are in their latitude, right? So that's resting heart rate. Now tags are interesting, and we're collecting them with voice, and our mobile app will have a way to input them very easily, a couple clicks. And you'll be able to just repeat whatever tags you've created with voice. So there'll be a tie-in between your voice tags and your mobile app tags. Here they're being summarized on a daily basis over the course of a week. The bubbles are larger. If you've had more of them, we're also going to show them just a pure timeline or 24 buckets in a day. So you could see, oh, when I eat this thing, I feel bloated, a little while after, or when I visit this place, I have a cat allergy, don't know it, but, I end up congested, being there a few hours. And that could be the pattern. So that's tags. The steps, everybody knows their steps. Don't think of it as exercise, but it does provide a good indication of your activity. So I can go back and sort of look at a week over the course of a year. And see, I'm kind of trending down. So there's a moving average here. We'll type in and go back a few years. That's where most of my Fitbit data came from. So here I am kind of on a downward trend, even over a 3-year cycle. I got to stop sitting in front of my computer doing these demos. So that's, kind of shown by other vendors that have the devices, but keep in mind that once you start collecting data inside of a device cloud like Fitbit, Garmin, or Apple, you're locked into that device, or you lose this data. So now I would be able to choose, a different tracker and have consistent data, even though I changed my tracker with LLIF. So here we've got step histogram, and it's not very meaningful over a small period of time. But if I do the last year, it's really interesting that during COVID, for the most part, I have a bimodal distribution with, I'm either staying in a house, getting a few thousand steps, or getting outside and getting many more steps, long hikes, walks, and things, and kind of this lull of nothing in between. That was not the case back in, if I go back to 2019 to 2020, is that right? Yeah, 2020. If I go, let's see, 1 day, right? That's what the last one was. You can see a more normal distribution where I'm getting, 10,000 steps a day, and I'm less and more. So, what is the implication on this? What about the people that don't go for the long walks and things like that? They may not have had the second lump in the bimodal distribution, and the activity rate goes down. What's the implication on health in general? Symptoms, maybe the number of symptoms, not per person, but for an entire community, are going up as a result of more indoor time or less outdoor time. Those are sorts of things that we'll have insights to, again, anonymously, as we start adding members. Percent time and movement states. I traveled a lot in the 2019, 2018 time period. Let's see, we can probably even go back to 2017 with this data. Might even took a little time there. You saw that. So we are getting this data from Google at long. We will be collecting it ourselves. You'll get these sorts of visualizations if you log in. But here you can see, and it's tracked that you're still, you're walking, you're running, 2-wheel vehicle, 4-wheel vehicle, water, air, train, I think is another one. So you can see that, and I don't remember, we have to check on the undefined, but this light green in the air did a lot of flying, at least on a monthly basis, had, hours of flying. This units need to be corrected. But you could see that entirely ended as COVID started. And basically I've had none of those movements. I still got to figure out where I got this whatever color here in water. I don't know if that's kayaking or what, but you can see these trends. But it is good to know from a quality of life standpoint, how many hours am I spending actually in the air? And I can quantifiably go back and see that. I could look at it on a per month basis and try to keep a balanced life and say, I want to keep it down to this much. So another very interesting graph. Time and movement's about the same. Time and places, you can get it based on, time here, or just total pi. So if I want to go in here and look at maybe the last year, cross out the address of LLIF and see other places I've been, I can do that, and I can do it over longer periods of time. Having the time and places will also help with correlations. Again, like if you have a cat allergy when you visit somebody, or a mold allergy, it could be a house that has a mold allergy. We'd be able to figure out that over time, every time you visit this place, you've got this symptom because you're logging it. So for Amazon shopping, you can see I spend a lot on Amazon. It's actually also the corporate stuff. So here, if I go in, Amazon data started in 2006, and we do have instructions for you to take out your data, but started in 2006, so I can take it all the way to 21, right? So that's like 15 years worth of data, and aggregate it on a weekly basis or a monthly basis. And you can see general trend, also peaks. When I break this down for 1 year, you'll see Amazon Prime Day and Christmas, but there could be correlations where it's like, oh, every time I get a paycheck, spend, or, when it's cloudier, I go shopping, right? All kinds of things we would be able to correlate bad weather to online shopping. I don't know what it might be. But without you doing anything, we'll be running analytic services and identifying those correlations and showing them to you under the Learn tab. And Amazon shopping by category. This is number of items. So, drink flavor mix is not what I'm spending most of my money on. But it's a lot of items. And chewing gum is another one of those things. And if I go to last year, I guess I could go from 2006, just like the other graph, and say, all the way up to present, and see it kind of levels out. But these are number of items. Go figure, you buy electronics, a lot of electronics cables, left a lot of those in hotels. But just at least the quantity, we are going to add spend for that. And then moving down, YouTube video, this would be, let's see, 19 to 21. And let's do a month. I swear I watched more YouTube videos than that. There may be something missing here for YouTube videos. It's not actually going back and going a year, so we'll go check into that. Now, Netflix video, there's profiles. So, we had to design around the profile, and, I could go back and look at the amount of watching of each profile over time. So if you have kids or maybe a rental house that has a profile, you'd be able to track video viewing habits by Netflix profile. You can also see your programs and choose the profile you want to see. So here, let's say over the course of a year, I can see all the programs. And when I come out of here, if I want to launch like Halt and Catch Fire, it takes you out to the IMDb screen for that. And you can also see the programming time. This is probably one of the more pretty graphs. As you see the amount of time you spent watching a program over the course of the year and in total time. So it is a lot of data that it's pulling in, so it might take a second or two. Whoops, I clicked something else. So moving down past Netflix, Bodyweight. Not sure how much data I have here. I'm pretty consistent. I can do it on a monthly basis, so I get a curve fitting over time. I think I had a scale going back to 2018 or so. So I go 2021. You can see generally I'm bouncing around the same weight range. Might be some trends where I think I'm lighter in the summer. I think most people are more active. So that's the high level on the charts. And then for exercise, if I go in to here, I'll see the latest exercise activity, but also we have a log where you can go into each exercise and get the results of each one, right? We're iterating on those graphs too. So that's sort of the high level LLIF tab. Under Learn, the goal is to offer you a platform. This is where your homepage, and this is where you'll come to see deviations. So somebody's heart rate or at rest heart rate is going up from 70 to 85 over the course of a month, which happened to my mother. You'd get a notification. Hey, your mom's heart rate has gone up. Don't know why. You want to check into it. If your sleep is trending down over the long period of time, be like, hey, your sleep has been dropping 10% per month for 3 months now. There may be something wrong. might want to go to the doctor. You probably feel terrible anyway. But notifications on any sort of deviations, maybe it's you are the number of times you've said you've been congested is going up. It used to be like once a week, and now it's 4 times a week. So the rate of something happening has increased. The Learn tab will be any sort of anomalies that we detect both for you and any sort of family members you've shared access with as read only. And then moving on. So we do have under Learn the starts of, hey, let me start comparing multiple data sets. I want my sleep data and my resting heart rate to be shown on top of each other. I want to see if there's some sort of correlation, or my places and my symptoms being tags. So I can compare, oh, these are my tags. Here's my heart rate. Now we've over tagged this data here, but you would see fewer tags, and maybe if there were changes to the heart rate, any sort of insights or correlations. So Learn tab we covered. The Innovate tab is where you'll go in and set thresholds to achieve. So if you choose to increase your steps, decrease your weight, try to work on lowering your at-rest heart rate, who knows, you'll be able to do that here. Maybe reduce your screen time, right? And maybe your notification is, tell me when I'm hitting, so many hours of screen time in a week, right? And then you can consciously try to cut back, or your kids, right? Then find is interesting. When you come in here, you're searching across all your data. So if I type in the word Maine, I'll actually see the places I visited with the word Maine, and you'll see there's, since it's such a common word, lots of places that I visited. But I could also type in Tesla, because I bought Hot Wheels cars for Teslas, right? And you'll see that, or I visited Tesla service center or something like that. You can type in names. I have no idea what shows up if I type my own name. I think a lot, right? Jim Gaffigan, look at that. A smarter, funnier Jim. So Jim Hodges dog training. There you go. Got a dog like Jim Gaffigan. But I can see, all my searches, the purchases. If I watch, what should show up on Maine is, I don't even know if I watched the movie Main Event, but that could show up on Netflix. So finding your data across clouds, through one search interface is something that doesn't exist, anywhere else. And lastly, we have the Engage platform, which is under construction. We've got, pieces of it ready, but it's, not necessarily be in the business of you, but, it's engaging for you. So if you engage, you would get advertisements based on categories of interest and the search criteria. So Nike could send you a solicitation for new sneakers because you run more than 20 miles a week for the last year. Disney or HBO can send you an advertisement because you watch a particular show, perhaps even on another network, just because you've pulled your data down. So we give you the tools to become your own advertiser, and then you can monetize the data that you've generated once you pull it back into us as a nonprofit. And you're protected from us trying to misuse or take advantage of that data for our own profit. So that's Engage, under construction. But you can use the platform today and start looking at your historical data. You can reach out to us at info@LLIF.org. If you need help, we're working on a help page here. And as far as uploading your data, you can just go to the settings tab. And these are the current clouds we support, Amazon, Facebook, Fitbit, Google, and Netflix. These were representative of, a smattering of data types. So Amazon, we have the shopping. Facebook was, to show you kind of levels of social interaction, breaking messages down into private, group, and public. Fitbit, of course, is, health, kind of activity, sleep, heart rate, and some other variables around, heart. Google is lots of things. It's multiple clouds. In some clouds, it's YouTube, it's search, it's news, discovery. I mean, there's many services within Google. We're probably ingesting about a half a dozen of them. And of course, Netflix is a single, video viewing cloud. So, you're able to go into here, click choose file, go in, grab the file. I think, yeah, this one here is the way Netflix comes out. And to go get your files, you go to LLIF, Life Takeout Guide, and we have instructions here to get you started. Now with our mobile app, which is coming out imminently, like this summer, you will be able to get real-time data off your phone, input data from your phone, and then visualize many of these same things through the phone. And iteratively, we'll be adding more sources, both to the web interface where you'll do more detailed research and data mining, and to the mobile app. So I hope you've enjoyed the introduction to the Live, Learn, Innovate Foundation website. And again, if you have any questions, inquiries, want to participate in the beta, please do send an email to info@llif.org. Thanks and have a great day.